And so as you can see, it's the post office over here, and they're going to close this down. Very busy neighborhood, very busy, extremely busy. And that's about it. Now I'm going to the demonstration now so that you can see for yourself. I'm here to take some pictures, try to put a story together so that I can show the people, you know, what's going on. And we'll get a different angle so that you can see this is a huge post office. Is this where they, excuse me, is this where they're going to have the meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Post office is in the Constitution. iPhones and Blackberries aren't protected in the Constitution, but the post office is. The internet goes down, there's still the post office, because it's our post office. Whose post office? Our post office. Whose post office? Our post office. Saved one of the 17 in the Bronx, 34 in New York City, and 3,700 across the country. Neighborhood post offices, they're going to close. Whose post office?
The People's Post Office. The People's Post Office.
Whose post office?
The People's Post Office.
Whose post office?
The People's Post Office.
Whose post office? Our post office. Whose post office? Our post office. Whose post office? Our post office.
Our post office.
Whose post office?
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 Our post office.
Whose post office? Our post office.
Your mail and your post office are important. That's why we are here. That's why all of us are here. A management-initiated study can be conducted whenever an independent post office becomes vacant or at any time when the office is a station or branch of an independent's office. It is our administrative duty to determine if regular effective service can be achieved through alternate options. If we believe alternative service options are economically viable, we then request authorization to conduct the study. The stadium station is being conducted to realign and optimize our workforce and reduce our physical footprint and replace it with alternative services. So why are we here? We are here for your input. Customers like yourself are mailing community meeting notice that invite you to participate in informational meetings such as this. In addition, we provide stamps for sale at convenient locations throughout the area. We also have a strong presence on the internet to support shipping and mailing needs, as well as change of address orders. All final decisions are subject to review by the Independent Postal Regulatory Commission, and the Postal Service may officially close an office no sooner than 60 days after the date of that final determination. I'll turn it back over to Ms. Jones for your questions and concerns.
Thank you, Mr. Sampson.
Thank you.
Please keep in mind, all questions and comments will be considered before a final decision is made.
My name is Dennis Terry. I'm a resident of 101 Avenue, which is across from Gate 2 in the stadium. I've been using the stadium post office. I am the president of the Bronx Senior Citizens Council. We own and operate 900 Grand Concourse, which houses probably about 500 senior citizens who use the stadium and post office for a host of facilities, monthly and weekly. I'm also the chairman of the 161st Street Business Improvement District, and we are property owners along the 161st Street Court, which rent to the merchants which service the residents of this community. And that post office services those businesses, and they service the business operations of the Bronx Senior Citizens Council, which is a medium-sized business. They have revenues of $16 to $20 million a year, and we have up to 300 employees. But there are many ways that I can address this specific, and this will have a negative impact on the businesses and on the residents in that community. If anything, you ought to consider refurbishing the 161st Street station and make it look like you care about us doing business there. It has been despicable in its appearance for years. We had to advocate to put a flag in front of that post office because it was inhabited. And there'll be so many people there, you will wonder why you move the station or consider moving. Thank you. Thank you.
In my community where I live, which is Madison Housing Department. The question is, for a lot of the elderly, like you said, like the gentleman said too, and a lot of people who have no way of getting to the mail and all that. I know a lot of stores, they sell post stamps and envelopes and all that stuff. But the thing is, when you need to mail a package, and these other places are so expensive, the post office usually is the cheapest place that you can mail your package for a reasonable amount, and it can ship and you get certification and all that for what you need in your, for the delivery. Now, I understand they took all the machines out, all the mailing thing, took all that out, which was being convenience. It was very convenient to a lot of people. I know as well in the area. So by trying to get all this done, it's kind of, inconvenience to where I have to go so far over the bridge or wherever I have to go. It's going to be really out of my way. And I don't have a car, I only have my 2 feet. So they want you to buy stamps and everything on mail. They want you to put all your identification on mail, or your card, your credit card numbers and all that. And I think that is very bad because it's dangerous. And you can see where you can make up the money or difference of however you're going to run the business. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Julio Pavon. I've been coming to these hearings since they've been starting, including the ones that they announced with a lot of people that we didn't know about. It goes to all the post offices, whether it's here or whether it's a couple of blocks down or half a mile away, they're all affected. Because sometimes you come over here and you have to go to another post office, you have to be shopping in Food Town, and it's convenient to have the post office there. As president of the South Bronx Community Association, which is the homeowners that are usually here on 149th Street all the way to 161st, and we have members who are now part of the condominiums and the co-ops that they converted. It behooves us, because if any borough is growing, the Bronx is the one that's growing. And then the Bronx is not only growing, but the number of people that are moving to the Bronx, a lot of them are immigrants. And immigrants use the post office. Immigrants buy stamps. Immigrants come and use it to mail packages. So it just behooves us to understand where are these decisions coming from. Even if you look at their statistics, they made more money last year than they did in 2007. So even by their own numbers, they're showing that there is some growth. What the gentleman said from the VIP district for 161st Street is true. That whole area has been rezoned. So it's just a matter of time between now that more structures are going to be going up, more tenants are going to be moving in there, and we're going to have a post office that's close to the people. The other thing is that there's a lot of seniors. 161st Street, that's a senior building in the Grand Concourse. You have a lot of seniors who have been into these apartments on the Grand Concourse. Where are these people going to go? You can't expect them to go to a post office. If the post office is closed, they're going to go to a bodega to mail a package. They're going to go to a bodega to buy stamps. They don't have the same courtesy as they have in the post office. So I don't know who's making these ideas and why even that post office on 161st Street is even being slated. That post office, if anyone, should have never been on this list because it's definitely needed for the population of that district.
It's always a pleasure to follow Julio because he gets up on the right after because he inspires, because he has a way of just putting things, together to make a lot of sense. And I have to apologize for the imposition of the 2-minute rule. I think that's aimed at me from the previous hearings, but I'll try to comply. I'm the legislative and political director of New York Metro Union My name is Chuck Slackman. Jimmy Perez is here. He is the Assistant Director of the Bronx for the New York Metro Airport. We're the largest global in the American Postal Workers Union. We represent people who work at all these post offices. So people say, well, you know, you're only here because you're the union. So yeah, the union's responsible to save their members' jobs. But the bottom line to us that we've learned is that if the people get the service they deserve, we have jobs.
That's right.
The post office isn't a make-work situation. There's real work that's done. And while I'm an official of the Postal Union, I also work in the post office every day. I work at Morgan Station, down in Manhattan. That's where all the mail that used to be processed in this building is trucked down every day to Morgan Station in Chelsea. That's where I work. I work on some transportation. I'm making it easy for you. I work in transportation on the deck on Tour 2. And I saw how much mail came in every day before they closed the Bronx. And now I see how much mail comes in after they close the Bronx facility. Because your mail isn't processed in the Bronx, it's trucked down to Manhattan, and that's why it's delayed. Now, there were hearings that people from the post office spoke to the people and said, oh, there'll be no delays in your mail. It's only, 9 miles away. As if they never saw traffic in New York City when it was snowing or the president was in town or whatever. And then the trucks line up on 9th Avenue because there's so much mail and equipment on this. It's a standstill, and they don't have enough people working there now to handle it. So they're not saving any money. But I'll be all over the place, unfortunately, because that's what I see every day. They lied to you then. I don't think they're starting to tell the truth to you now. Okay, so the Bronx, no mail processing, 34 stations being closed in New York City, 17 in the Bronx. What does that tell you? And when I come to these hearings and see people and the testimony from the people, it's always the same. The people are coming here to protect a service that's theirs, that they desperately need, and now they're telling you it's being taken away. Well, they lied again. I'll hand these out. I have some